Hi, my name is Avery, and I am here to show you my e-portfolio. So here we go. So my here. Oh, no, we don't want that. Okay, so here is my e-portfolio on live text. As we can see, so this is my pre-professional profile. My name is Avery Foster. I'm from Round Rock, Texas, located right outside of Austin. I went to North Central Texas College before I came here to UFIS. I do have my associate's degree of arts from NCTC, and I plan on getting my bachelor's from here at UFIS in history. Um, I also play volleyball here at UFIS. Um, so now we have my post-professional profile. So throughout my life, I have had really good teachers and really bad teachers, as I'm sure many of you have. And this is my biggest reasoning for wanting to teach. I want to go down in the books as one of the good teachers. I feel like um, I want to teach in the secondary school, and I feel like high school is just such an influential time in a student's life. And being one of their educators has always had some kind of um, long-term effect on their life. And I believe that education should be fun while also being obviously educational. Um, I have coached volleyball for a long time and ranging in ages, and this has helped me in a lot of ways, from communicating with people in a way that they'll understand, as well as learning patience. It's really, really hard to explain something to someone multiple times when you could just do it yourself, but you can't do this when educating someone. You have to be patient and allow them to understand it for themselves. Um, I am very much a one-way learner, so sometimes it's hard for me to grasp the concept that someone else could learn differently, but I have learned from my coaching experiences and working with kids that there are many different ways of learning. And I love my education classes because I feel like they're showing me every way to be able to teach the kids in their different ways of learning. And it's so rewarding, I feel like, once you learn the way that that kid learns, because it's like a light bulb goes off in their head. And I want to be that person that's able to explain to kids the way that they need it and able to learn. Um, I love this quote that I put at the top because this is how I want to be as a teacher. I want to be inspiring. I want to give them imagination when it comes to learning, and I want to give them the love of learning because, yes, it can be boring, and yes, you don't always want to be doing it, but I want to be that person that shows them that it's fun and that they can do it really, really well. Um, Here in my assessments tab, I have my pre-test. In a grades 9 through 12 pre-test, I feel like it should be a um, a way of showing kids, like, knowing what their prior knowledge is in an area. And to do that, just a simple practice test in my classroom could just teach me everything they know about what they know about the topic already. A formative assessment is used to test the student's knowledge during the learning process so they can see where the student is at and then go from there. So an example for my classroom would be a weekly quiz. It would be a weekly quiz or just a simple, like, multiple choice question test every week, or maybe even for my classroom in a history setting, a short answer quiz test a deeper knowledge of what they've learned for that week or even a couple of weeks after we've gotten done with the topic that we're talking about. A post-assessment in a high school setting is the exact opposite as a pre-assessment, obviously, but it is for a high school, typically, especially for me, since I want to teach a advanced placement class, it would be an AP test. And I believe that all AP students should take their AP test because not only does it give you college credit, but it also shows the teacher that you've learned what they've taught you for that year. Now, if a child or a student is not going to take their AP test, I do believe that the teacher should still give the student a final as a post-assessment so that they can know what they've learned for that year. Here in my assistive technology, I have 3 different speech-to-text apps. The first one is called Evernote, and it can be used on either iPhone or Android. It's very easy to use, and it's very similar to the Notes app in your iPhone, as you can record notes, you can draw, and you can type. It's very helpful for students who are not able to keep up when writing, so they can type or speak into the app to record notes for them. Dragon is similar. It's very awesome. It changes your speech directly to written text and stores it away like notes. So it's really easy for a student who can't follow along to just turn the app on and then in a classroom, so while the teacher is lecturing, the app can be turning the lecture directly into notes so that the student can go back later and compare the notes of what they took to what was actually said in the classroom. Voice Assistants is actually one of the top 3 text-to-speech apps that I've found. It has so many options for students to make it way easier and give you the best experience. Similar to Dragon, that it turns your speaking into written text. So it's great for speaking your notes directly into it and it turning your words into notes. It's fast and easy to use, and it'd be great for students who have trouble keeping up or cannot write out what they are thinking and need to speak. I also have 3 text-to-speech apps. My first one is called Speak. It's a great app with special features that can be adjusted for the perfect experience. It does have multiple language settings, so it's very helpful in that it breaks a language barrier for any students who English may be their second language. And it can also, even the voice, pitch, and the rate of which your text is being spoken can be changed. So it's very helpful, especially for those English second language learners. My second text-to-speech is Zabaware. This text-to-speech program is on the computer. It's fun and works great with the help of the program's online friend Hal. This app can hear certain words that students struggle with and can assist in speaking out loud what they've written to be sure it makes sense and is grammatically correct. I know that when I'm writing a paper, sometimes it's really hard for me to see the grammatical errors that I've made in the paper. I have to speak it out loud to myself. So I see this being really helpful in the classroom setting when a student has the same problem, because you can type directly into the program and it reads it back to you. So when you're hearing it said back to you, you can point out the things that don't make sense or just aren't grammatically correct. My last text-to-speech app is Natural Reader. It's really helpful for new language learners so they can hear how to say certain words, because you type in the word to the app and then it says it back to you and just reads out loud what you've typed into the program. Now, I also have 3 teaching resources. My first one is called Schoolwork. It's an app offered by Apple, and it works really best on the iPad. It's extremely helpful in all classrooms. You can not only keep up with assignments, but it also keeps up with your student attendance, and it holds other educational apps within it. Once it's on the teacher's iPad, it connects to the rest of the classrooms, and you're able to distribute as well as collect worksheets and other assignments within the app. It also tracks student progress like grades so that you can really truly keep up with what all of your students are doing. Even if they have to share iPads, it still works. And especially now that a lot of schools are providing iPads for every classroom and every student. Here I have Canvas. I am a huge supporter of Canvas. It is very easy to use, and I believe it's one of the most helpful websites and apps I've ever used for schoolwork. Um, I would encourage all teachers to use this app from a student's perspective. It is accessible on the phone, but works best on the computer. You can keep up with your schoolwork on your phone, but it really does work best on the computer because you have a full view of the website. All your classes are in one place, homework, assessments, and even lectures. And then on the right-hand side of the screen when you log in is a list of all your to-do items. So it makes it very easy for a student to stay caught up. Now, my last teaching resource is Google Classroom. It's a lot like Apple Classroom and Canvas, but it's just powered by Google. They make it very easy to use and to keep track of all your classes and assignments. When I was in high school, all my teachers used Google Classroom, and it made it very easy to keep up, as well as easy to understand the directions. It was almost as if I was taking the classroom and my teacher home with me. I highly recommend it. Here are my lesson plan. I do have a lesson plan written out for the subject that I want to teach, which is US history, which is 11th grade. And then here are my classroom management. I feel like a high school classroom is a lot different than an elementary classroom. These students are now considered young adults and do have a lot more expected of them. So I believe it's key to lay down the law, so to speak, on the first day so the students know what to do and what will land them in trouble. In a high school classroom, the difficulty is now technology. So I have this little picture up here, and one of them, you can't really read it, it's really small, but it does say something about technology and putting away your phones and all the technology unless you're given permission to have it out. I think that it's very key that the students know this so that they can truly key in on what you're teaching and listen while you're talking. And then they need to know that if they don't do this, there will be consequences. I believe rules and procedures go hand in hand. Classroom rules are for me mostly consist of respect. I respect my students as young adults and I plan to treat them as such. So in return, I expect they are respectful towards me. Procedures will be day-to-day operations of the classroom and what happens when a student chooses to not follow directions. These consequences include contacting a parent, detention, or worst case scenario, getting the principal involved. I know it is unreasonable to expect no problems, but I hope my students will respect me enough as an educator. I will never have to involve a principal. I think guidance in this field will just follow a choice consequence pattern, but it will also be up to me to follow my own classroom rules. If I were to ever quote unquote go easy on one student, the next will expect the same thing, and then I lose respect for my own rules. As hard as it can be sometimes to quote unquote punish a student, they need guidance on how to be young adults and filling the shoes they're growing into. So here I have another example of some class rules. They do, right here it says keep all personal electronics put away. And see, number 2 rule is respect the teacher. You are responsible for your own learning, and I really like these rules. I might use them in my own classroom because I feel like it connects with a high school classroom with not only the rules that are listed, but how, it has the hashtags at the end. So then last page, I have my tech tools, which here I have put my website because all my tech tools that I have found throughout the year have been posted on my website. And I feel like parents and students alike should feel free to check out my website for any additional information they might want, as well as looking at the tech tools that I have included on there because they are very helpful and can, help a student in a classroom find any additional information they might need. So that is my um, that's my e-portfolio, and I hope it was good, and I really enjoyed this class, and I hope that everybody else has learned a lot, and I hope that everybody enjoys my presentation. So thank you.